Hi, I'm Richard Morrow with John L. Scott Real Estate here in the Columbia River Gorge, and I'm licensed in both Oregon and Washington as a real estate professional. And the reason I'm here with you today is I wanted to put together a simple four-part series on the home buying process. And so this is part 3 in that series. In part 1, we talked about getting pre-approved. In part 2, how to start that home search and work with a real estate agent. So in part 3, we're going to talk about writing an offer. So suppose we've found a home that you like and you want to write an offer on it. And we're also going to talk about the costs involved up front that you might incur, so you kind of know what to expect. And then talk about the components of writing an offer. So I guess we'll start with writing an offer. Let's say you decide on one of the homes we've looked at that you'd like to make an offer, and so we get together and we talk about the components of the offer itself. And so some of just the key points in the offer, obviously the price, earnest money that you're going to put down, and we talk about any contingencies that you would have regarding the purchase, and also home inspection, the closing date, things like this. So we put that together and present that offer with those components in it, of course. And there's a lot more to it, but that's a simplified version. So the other issue that is that the costs involved that people aren't sure about. I think that's what I find the most with especially first-time buyers or folks that haven't purchased a home in a while, is that they don't really understand what costs are involved up front. Even after they've talked to their lender, sometimes I find that they still don't know. So there's 3 components that you're going to initially run into, and the first is earnest money, putting that earnest money down. And so say we get an accepted offer, and within a few days after that offer is accepted, usually you need to turn in the earnest money. And the earnest money is sort of a down payment, sort of a saying I'm in the game, I'm putting this money up. And so a lot of times, say on a $200,000 home or less, you'll see $500 to $1,000 for an earnest money, and it goes up higher from that. There's nothing required about it, but it's just sort of standards we see in the industry. So that's kind of a first cost that you're going to incur, and that's going to go to the title company initially. It doesn't go to us. So usually what happens if the offer gets accepted, we would open escrow at a title company, and they would kind of be the third party for the transaction, and so the money would sit with them initially and throughout the process until it closes, and that money is applied toward the purchase. So that's earnest money. So the next step is home inspection, and so usually on a residential home we will put in 10 business days as a home inspection period, and that's a time to find out whether there's anything wrong with the home or anything you should be concerned with, and that's a contingency. So if you find something that you just can't live with about the home, then you can actually get your earnest money back and get out of the transaction. And but there's a cost involved right up front with that home inspection. And so what I see in that, generally, these are just general estimates from what I've seen in transactions, is $350 to $500 for home inspections. Mostly I see it between 4 and 5. So that's another cost that you could incur up front, and that's something they want to be paid right when they do the job. And so that's home inspection. And then thirdly, so suppose we get through the home inspection, there's nothing wrong with the house and you're okay with everything, then we would have the appraisal ordered, and that's another cost. And I see those anywhere from $400 to $600 for appraisals, and so that's a cost that the lender is going to say, hey, I need the check for that, we need to get that ordered. And so those are 3 components that could cost you something initially as you write an offer. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. I think a lot of folks aren't, so it's just good to know up front that you're going to have some money set aside for that also. So again, my name is Richard Morrow. I'm with John L. Scott Real Estate here in the Columbia River Gorge, and I'm licensed in both Oregon and Washington. If I can help you in any way, please give me a call. I'd love to hear from you, or email me. I want to leave you with the most important recommendation of the day, and that is have the greatest or the best day of your life. Thanks for listening.